Hey, everybody, we're Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening, Jeremiah. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. A little tired, a little stressed this week, but
Yeah,
doing all right. How about
I'm
you?
also tired.
What?
Yeah,
You're not the only person. Like, my whole family's tired this week.
yeah. I'm
It's weird.
mainly tired today just because. So my daughter, her birthday was yesterday. She turned
Right?
4, but she also got sick yesterday. Poor thing.
Oh,
Yeah, she had like 102 fever in the middle of the night, and so I was staying up for that. And then my other daughter, who's like 5 3/4, decided she didn't want to go to sleep.
that's a good combination.
Yeah, so she was up until must have been like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it also could have been that she had cake. I don't know, like around dinner time.
Eh, I don't
Eh,
know.
Who knows? Who knows? But
Could
yeah,
be. Could be.
that was just like, oh my goodness. She was chatty. It's like, kid,
Love it.
I'm trying to fix the computer over here. I need you to settle down for a minute.
Nice.
But
I
yeah,
remember those days.
yeah. So I think I got less than 5 hours of sleep, so it was good,
Uh,
which is
uh,
unusual for me.
is it?
Yeah, I normally get around 7.
Do you?
Yeah.
Man, I think last night I didn't get very much because we got home late. Uh, and then I did. Well, I did take a nap today. I take that back. I'm still tired.
I did not take a nap.
Yeah. One of the benefits of working from home is lunchtime is nap time sometimes.
I did work from home today because I stayed home with my daughter,
Uh huh.
but I did not take a nap. I hate naps, to be honest. I
Do
always
you?
feel I always feel worse after naps. I'm
Some
that
naps are
I'm that kind of
good.
person.
It just depends on the nap. Today's nap wasn't that good. Sometimes a nap is like, man, that's what I needed.
Yeah.
I've napped a lot in my life, so
Like Garfield.
yeah. So what's new with you? What's going on? Enough about
Uh
naps.
so I got my I don't know what I accidentally clicked in. I got my new Fitbit,
Nice.
the Fitbit Sense.
Yeah.
It's on the. Let's see if I can make the thing come up. Yep. I already chose a custom watch face that has all of the different measurement things that they do on here, which is an insane amount, by the way. Um,
Yes.
I literally got it maybe 5 hours ago.
Whoa,
So
you got that quick. I didn't realize it was today you got it.
yeah, so I'm not like super well versed in everything yet. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I thought I would have had it a little bit more by now, so we could have like talked and compared and done all that kind of stuff. But I think maybe for next week we can start comparing different things.
I agree. I think that's a good idea. It's are we did I did you send me a Fitbit buddy?
We are Fitbit
Are we
buddies now.
are we oh we are. We are. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
you sent me one, and then I was like, I don't have my watch yet, so
Oh, okay.
so I,
Okay.
I
That's what
set up
happened.
an account real quick, and then when I logged in today, it wouldn't let me. It didn't say you were a friend, so I was like, well, I guess I'll just invite him back now. I don't know what happened, but we're friends now.
Yes, we are. Actually, I have another friend that um is on my list and I don't know them.
Oh, really?
Well, it's the I believe it's the wife of a person from high school,
Oh, gotcha.
and you probably remember the person. Um, and I didn't I guess I when Fitbits first came out, everybody got a Fitbit, right? And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
friends with everybody. So I'm sure it connected with Facebook or whatever, and I just was like, hey, let's be Fitbit buddies. And so that's the last one left.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but now you're my new Fitbit buddy. So
We are now Fitbit buddies. So we actually talked about this a little bit ahead of time because we didn't know what we were gonna compete on, but we talked about competing on zone minutes, which seems like it's kind of the big tracker that Fitbit makes front and center for you.
Right. I didn't realize it, but yeah.
You're like, where is it? It's it's the very first thing on the app.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll allow us to track, I guess the zones where you burn fat and then have cardio and peak heart rate. So does a little bit more than just tracking steps and things like that. So it should be pretty interesting to see who has the most zone minutes when we check in on the next episode.
That'll be great. I will say I already have a complaint about it.
Oh,
just
yeah?
so you know. I don't
What's
think I
that?
mentioned this to you. So one of the new things that's new with me is I decided to do yoga.
Okay.
So I joined a gym. They have yoga classes. And I did yoga this morning, and I was not in the zone this morning.
Ooh, yeah.
Did not get me. I have to look back and see. So my first class was Monday. And you know, when you take the tour of the gym, and they're like, "Oh, here's our yoga studio," and I've done light yoga in the past through YouTube. I did some DDP yoga, which is actually very cool. But
Nice.
so they say, you know, we have a range of classes. I think there's 3 or 4 different classes, and they're like, you know, it's no high pressure. We have a beginner's class, but you can go into any class no matter what level you are, and you'll be fine. So I went Monday morning because that was the time slot, and there was a yoga class.
Right.
It wasn't the beginner one, where they call it, I think, root or whatever. I don't know. It's basically beginner. This is somewhere, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I tried to keep up. Have you ever done yoga?
I have.
So
I actually
like
did it the other day.
it's position, like just flat out, like now this, now this, now this.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, some of those classes are pretty intense. I've done some of those. I've only done like video yoga. I don't think I'm brave enough to go out in front of a group of people and try to attempt yoga.
Make sure you do the beginner one when you do.
Yeah.
I'll say the instructor was very nice. Nobody was watching me, obviously, because they're worried about themselves. But the instructor was very nice. She just helped me with a couple of poses. She's like, you know, move your foot this way, do that.
Right.
But it wasn't like, oh, you're not keeping up, or you're not strong enough, or what. No, it was like, do what you can, modify, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
But man, I tell you, it actually hurt my hip, which is artificial, by the way. My muscles
Oh,
on
interesting.
my hip.
It's probably
So I
trying
got
to
to look and see
strengthen
if I
those
was in the
muscles.
zone. Yeah, I've never worked them. So I got to see if I was in the zone on Monday. But I did it this morning, and it was a much better pace, and I liked it. But I wasn't in the zone.
Are you tracking the exercise, like going into the exercise? I don't know I don't know how yours tracks, but there's like an exercise thing on here where you can tell it which exercise you're doing and all that kind of stuff.
I see that now. It says track your exercise.
Yeah. So
I've never used it.
I imagine yoga's got to be one of the options, right?
Sure, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, yoga is one of the options.
Class
So
next week.
I think it does a better job of tracking you when you tell it what you're doing. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't, so I don't like working out with people. I think I mentioned that in the podcast. Like, don't, you see me, don't talk to me. So I did work out with my wife.
Oh no.
And it slowed me down. So my zone minutes, because when I have my set things I'm going to do, it's like, it's not quite half an hour, but it's, you know, to do all the sets and everything, it's 25 minutes or so.
Right.
But because I was waiting my turn on the mat.
Yeah.
For sharing, so we wouldn't have to clean twice as much. She doesn't listen to this. So she's slow. So I'd have to stop and wait. And I think that dropped my my zone minutes because I would have to wait for my turn.
Definitely doesn't keep the heart rate going.
I didn't know the heart rate dropped and I had to wait. And so I was, relaxed. And I'm very methodical. Like, in order to keep track, I have to do things in the right order.
Oh yeah,
Because then if I like, well, I'll just skip that and move. I'll
you
time's
lose it
gone,
all. Yeah,
lose it all. So yeah. So I'll be excited to compare next
yeah.
week.
And then we can also, just as like a fun thing, um, just see who gets the most amount of sleep from now until next time we record the podcast.
Are we including naps? I don't
Sure.
take a nap every day. I don't take a nap.
Why not? It'll be interesting to see.
Uh,
Because
I,
maybe
I
you're getting enough sleep, you're just not getting it all at one time.
yeah, I've the last couple of weeks I've dropped the habit. I would take a nap every morning is what I was doing since my work didn't start till 10.
Yeah,
I would take it. So I'm trying to get out of that habit. So we'll see how that. Well, it'll be fun to track.
it will.
Yeah.
So we've talked about right to repair in a previous podcast
Yes,
episode,
we have.
and one of my favorite websites slash brands is iFixit, which I have some stickers here from iFixit. So my watch, my Android Wear watch, which I've had since Christmas 2018, I think. So I've had it almost 3 years now. So it's been around a long time. The battery just like started to be super terrible over like the last 2 or 3 weeks, where it would literally die in the middle of the day. Um,
Yeah.
which is pretty normal, I think, for a battery that small
Yeah.
to just kind of degrade that much. Uh, but that's what made me buy the Sense. Plus, I just wanted to track exercise and stuff better. Um, but I wanted to give something else a shot because I've had Android Wear for a while. It's real slow and it's not super great. So, but I also wanted to not just like throw it away, throw the watch away, and be like, I don't have a use for this, or just let it sit in the closet or sit in a box or something like that. So I went on iFixit's website, which is usually what I do if I want to fix something. I go to ifixit.com and just like,
Right.
all right, search for the product, see if they have it, because a lot of times they'll have like instructions on how to do this or that. And they had instructions on how to repair the battery or to replace the battery. You can't really repair the battery. But they also had the battery on their website listed as a product you could buy for like $30. So super
Oh
cheap.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. So actually did it yesterday, I think. Um, took a little bit of time, and obviously I have some of the tools and stuff from iFixit already, so it kind of made it cheaper because it already spent the money on that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, took the back off, pried the old battery up, put the new battery in, put it back on, and then I drained the battery to less than 10%, which was super easy last night because my daughter was up till 1 a.m. Uh, and which meant so was I. And then once I did that, brought it up today, everything's been good. It is now, so I'm at 74%, 75% battery life right now. When like yesterday, before I replaced it, it had died before I replaced it. So,
Dang.
yeah, so the battery life is like back to brand new, which is super awesome. Um, and I think it's just great that you can do that kind of stuff with with certain electronics where you go to a website and it's like, I don't want to buy this new thing because I don't need to.
Right.
Let me just fix the thing that I have, and it's good for however many more years that I want to keep it. So
Nice.
yeah, I like that kind of stuff, and I definitely like supporting websites like iFixit, who kind of their mission is let everybody fix their own devices, stop
Yeah.
sending it to a landfill somewhere. So that was pretty cool to do, and it kind of makes you feel cool. I mean, you're following instructions step by step, so it's not like it's like super hard, but also you just feel like, hey, I could do this. I
Yeah.
did this.
Look at that. So I'm on the website now, and I've been here before, but it's been so long. It
Yeah.
even tells you how to adjust a buttonhole size. Look at that.
Yeah, there's instructions for an insane amount, and not just like a small electronics.
No, it's
I
like
think they have
silly.
other kinds of devices as well.
Zipper replacement. I have 2 jackets I need to. I'm sorry.
There you go. The rabbit hole is endless on iFixit.
It is. It is. I'm going to bookmark this page so I can come back later.
Yeah.
When I'm not using other people's time, and I can look for things to repair. I have lots of things I need to repair.
Well, there you go. Now you have hopefully a means to at least fix some of it.
Yes, and I want to buy a toolkit.
The Manta Tool Kit. So I actually bought it for work, because I had taken like an old one that I had at the house. I took it to work and I was using that, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to take that back. let me buy one for work, and I bought the Manta one. And man, so this is the Manta one. I actually borrowed it from work. But the screwdrivers on this thing are so nice. Like they're heavy duty, and the top like spins, so it's real easy to spin it with one hand. And it's just really well made and super nice. And the top of it has like little screw trays, so when you take the screws off, you have a place to put them when you take them off. So
you don't have the magnetic mat?
I actually do have one at work. I have a magnetic mat at home, and then at work, and at home I actually have these magnet bowls.
Look at that. See, I always lose screws.
Yeah, so I mean the top of that lid was super nice for these really small screws, so it was hard to lose. Plus the screwdrivers are magnetic tips and all that stuff, so
very nice.
Makes it a lot easier.
Very nice. All right. That's good news. Like the website, use it. I'll be using it. What else we got going on tonight?
Now it's time for the news, right?
Yes, it is.
Let's do a little recap here. Did you know that a TV manufacturer makes more money off of you viewing ads than it does on you buying their TV? That astounds me. Like Google, Apple is going to let you transfer data when you die. So that's super cool. And good luck buying a PS5 for Christmas. I'm going to talk about all that and more in the news.
Yes. Some sad news. Some sad news.
Should we start with the PS5?
Yeah, we can start with it because I've been waiting to buy one.
Oh, really?
I want one. Well, my son wants one. I kind of do. But we haven't been able to find one.
You should have told me.
You know where one is?
Well, every once in a while, so Sony will send. Do you have a PlayStation ID?
Probably.
So every once in a while, Sony will send you, or has sent me emails like, "Hey, you can buy a PS5 from us directly." And so I already have one, so I don't need to do it again. But I probably could have bought you one. This was a few months ago, but yeah.
Anyways, so there is an article here that talks about how they're hard to find. If you're trying to find one, they are hard to find. It's just they're sold pretty quickly. But there's a report that basically Sony is reducing the number of units that it plans to sell by March of next year, 2022, by a million.
Units. Yeah.
That's a lot. So what it is basically
supply shortages.
Yeah,
pretty much everything
everywhere. So they're not getting what they need to make the units and then to get them to us again. So last year, I'm assuming, or earlier this year, they projected by March of 2022, they would have sold 16 million units. And the report comes out from Bloomberg that they have just reduced that to 15 million. The PS5 still is Sony's fastest selling console ever,
which is crazy to me.
Yeah, having already topped 10 million units sold by July. So they were estimating that they were going to sell 16 by March, already selling 10 million, which only leaves 6
Well,
million.
well, actually, so the math is a little different on that. The up to the 10 million
It's always the
units
math.
sold back in by July includes when they came out, which I think they came out in November of
Okay.
2020.
Right.
So yeah, it includes a couple extra months in there. The March 2021 to March 2022 is the 16 and $15 million or 15 million units.
Either
So
way,
yeah,
terrible. It's tough to buy one.
I think the bigger news story here, and obviously the PS5, having a million less units is going to affect some people's Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger news or the bigger thing is that it's going to be hard to find Christmas gifts, period, I believe.
At all. You're right. Yeah.
Um, I was talking to my wife today. I was like, hey, we need to probably just buy all of our kids presents before Black Friday because I feel like once Black Friday hits, it's going to be so hard to get things by Christmas.
Yeah.
Things are either going to be sold out, or it's just going to be stuck being shipped. And I think it's just going to be real hard to get anything. So I think me and my wife are probably going to start trying to buy all of our kids' presents before or in the next 2 weeks, probably.
That's a great plan, and I'm going to have that conversation when we are done.
Yeah.
It's a really good idea to start buying now. Although, I'll be honest, my kid's a little bit older. What do you want for Christmas? Cash. Well, don't you want no, cash? Give me cash. I'm like, well, fine, if that's what you
That's
want.
no fun.
It's no fun, but
I don't think I've ever asked or been given cash for Christmas by my parents.
well,
There's always something I would ask for.
well, in the youngest one, yeah, there's something that he wants, but the older two are already, the young adults are starting out their life. One moved into an apartment, so she's wanting stuff for her apartment and to make her life happen. She's
Yeah.
21, so that's what she's wanting.
Well, then you just buy her stuff for the apartment.
We did.
Well, there you go. Christmas already taken care of. Tell her
Well,
you've already
actually,
bought her
yes,
Christmas stuff.
that was part of her Christmas present was, hey, what do you need? We'll help you get it. So she got Christmas early,
Yeah.
as did we. I got one person out of the house.
There you go.
So that's my Christmas present.
To
That's
yourself.
sad. That's bad. That's terrible. I'm a terrible parent. But yeah, I agree. Things are going to be shorted. There'll be a shortage of things, which is fine. I don't know that we need things to celebrate Christmas, and
Yeah.
for us, it's usually family comes into town, and we get to have late nights playing games and things like that.
Yes. I have spent time with your family playing games once before.
Just once, right?
Yeah, just once. I think it was your mom's house.
Probably. Probably. You came out there?
Yeah, one time.
Nice. Did you like it? Did you want to come back? Was it New Year's?
I don't actually remember what it was for.
Her house is not. She has toys.
Unless it.
It's not
Oh,
kid
I think it
toys.
was when you lived there.
Was it when I lived there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just tell everybody I had to live with my parents for a little bit.
Hey, I'll go through rough patches.
That's a story in itself that we'll save for another time when we talk mortgages, which we should.
Sure.
I don't know. We don't have to. Um, but anyways, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I think I vaguely remember you guys coming out there, but that was such a long time ago.
It was
And
a
to be honest, I hadn't seen your family in a while, anyways,
yeah.
because of everything that's been going on, and we haven't made time for it, either one of us. It's very sad.
It's true.
It's very sad.
All right. Are you ready to find out who is selling your information
Someone else?
to make money? So Vizio is making more from ad subscriptions and data that it sells to third parties than it makes from selling TVs or other electronics.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so they released their earnings report on Tuesday and revealed that over the last 3 months, its Platform Plus, which it counts money made from selling ad placements on its TV home screens deals for the buttons on remotes. So you know all those Netflix buttons, somebody's paying for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, ads that run on streaming channels, it's cut from subscriptions because it makes a little bit on those, and viewer data that it tracks and sells as part of their Inscape program. So that's their platform plus. So their gross profit on that was $57.3 million. And selling devices like TVs and sound bars and all the other things that they sell only brought in $25.6 million. So more than doubled. Yeah, more
That's
than
just
doubled
not
that.
fair. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So they broke it down. They have over 14 million SmartCast accounts, which is the account you have to create to use the Vizio TV.
Wow.
And there's, yeah,
I just think that's not, I mean, when you consider like the number of people in America,
yeah,
right? We're talking 330, 340, 350 million people.
Yeah, but then you got to break it down. It's like how many of those are kids, how many other in the same family. There's only one account per
That's true.
house and all that stuff. They could have like 5 TVs and only one account.
Yeah.
But the number that they made from each of those accounts doubled from last year, going from $10.44 to $19.89 per month.
Wow.
Per month. And 77% of that came directly from advertising.
Which, again, it's not mostly from the data; it's mostly from advertising, which is,
which comes from the data.
Right.
That's how they sell. That's where they're targeting these ads to you. So they're pulling your data from what you're watching and then selling that to the advertiser, who then picks what they want to show you.
And what I found interesting too in here is from 2020 to 2021, there was a drop of 36% of the number of TVs that they sold.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because I think a lot of people bought TVs in 2020 because what else were you going to do?
That's true. That is true.
And then everybody has a new TV, but even still, they were able to make a pretty good profit.
Yeah, they made up the profit in the the advertising and all that other stuff. So what's also interesting, so I know there are a lot of people who love Roku, right?
Right.
So Roku's even worse. So they're making $40 per month on each user. So more than double what Vizio is making on theirs. So that just goes to show you how much they're making on ads and all that other stuff. So there is a way to opt yourself out of this, which I have done, but I also, to be honest, I don't even have my Vizio TV connected to the internet anymore. And my other TVs that are connected to the internet have like an ad blocker turned on. Nice. So they can't even get to that kind of stuff. But so if you want to turn this off, I'll tell you how to do it. I'll try and go kind of slow. Press the menu button on your TV's remote. Select System in the menu on the left. Then select Reset and Admin, which I think is towards the bottom. Highlight Viewing Data, and then press the right arrow to change the setting to off.
On a Vizio TV.
I'm sorry?
This is on a Vizio TV.
This is on a Vizio TV, yeah. So this is only for Vizio. But that'll opt you out of the SmartCast TV stuff, and so your data won't get sold and all that jazz. So kind of, supposedly, I mean, who knows? They could still be doing it.
Yeah.
Just telling you they're not.
They're just telling you, yeah.
Just to make you feel better about yourself and them.
Well, that probably helps keep being that they're making so much money on this, it's able to keep the cost down on us to buy the TV, because they're still going to make money off us even after we buy it. That's
true, but they're also raising the cost of their TVs at the same time, so they are actually making more money per TV and other devices. So
I think that has the price going up has a lot to do with what's going on around here, and getting.
No, I don't think their prices have actually changed since the pandemic has
Well, I mean, as far as the supply
the chip shortage. Yeah, I don't think their TV prices have changed. My guess is they have a large enough
warehouse full of chips.
Not that I'm trying to think of the right word, but I mean they have enough buying power to where that kind of thing doesn't affect them as much as it would a smaller manufacturer. So yeah, interesting to know what's happening with your data on your Vizio TV. And to be fair, I would guess that almost every single TV, smart TV, or box, like media box that you use, whether it's Android TV, Roku, Apple TV, they're all selling your data. It is nice that Vizio gives you a way to opt out, so I'll give them that.
Yeah,
but everybody's doing it.
There you go. So what happens to my Apple account when I die?
Until their latest update, it took a hell of a lot for anybody to get your information back. So I think you had to go to court previously to get someone's data, a deceased person's data back. And it was an arduous process.
Yes.
So now they are, as part of their iOS 15.2 update, I would recommend anybody that wants to make sure that, they want to pass on their photos or documents or purchases, set this up. It is definitely worth it. But you can designate up to 5 people as what they're calling legacy contacts. These individuals can access your data and personal information stored in iCloud when you die. To activate digital legacy, Apple still requires proof of death and an access key. So I'm assuming you're going to have to write that down and put it in a safe or do something so you don't lose it. Because if you lose that access key, I'm probably guaranteeing you're going to have to end up in court again to get that data back. So it's one of those things where if you have like 1Password or a password management program, that would be someplace you'd want to keep that, and then make sure everybody has access to that password management software, or write it down, put it in a safe, lock, safety deposit box, something. That way other people can get it after the fact. So I know we talked about this with Google a couple months ago, and how I have mine set up and all that kind of thing. Facebook also has something like this where you can designate account access to other people once you move on. But it's nice that Apple's getting in on the game. I feel like this is one of those weird things where digital things become, they essentially have to be passed down, right? Like all your photos are stored in your iCloud, and it's like, do you want those photos to just disappear, or do you want to keep them going? I know that I every once in a while will see pictures of my grandparents. It's kind of cool to be able to see that kind of stuff. If you think about it, if companies like this didn't do this, those photos would just die.
They're gone.
They would disappear forever. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm guilty of not printing the pictures out. I just keep them in the cloud and pull them up. Get reminders to look at them, or we'll just start looking at old photos on the phone as opposed to actually going through a photo book. So
yeah,
so glad Apple has decided, because there's a ton of Apple users out there. In fact, I'm sure I've got a few in the iCloud. I don't use Apple anymore, but I'm sure I've got some kind of data there.
Yeah. There is, I'll just go through and tell you how to set this up as well. TheVerge.com was nice enough to put the instructions. So if you want to check it out on TheVerge.com, definitely check it out. Look for Legacy Contact on there. But on your iOS device, go to Settings, Your Name, which is your iCloud account at the very top, Password and Security, and then under Legacy Contact, follow the instructions to add a Legacy Contact. If you already use family sharing, you can choose a family member from the list. Alternatively, you can also add someone using their email or phone number. So it should be pretty easy. and then you can notify the legacy contact and share an access key via messages. So that way they can store it in their Apple ID. So it's good to know.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do this on your iPhone, of course, you have to have 15.2.
Yes, you have to be on the latest version of iOS.
Yes. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those really nice things to have. I think we should talk about Instagram before we talk about the
Instagram. So I
stuff.
appreciate this. I don't use Instagram personally, but I use other social media. So what Instagram is doing, which I think is owned by Facebook, or Meta, whatever they want to call themselves.
Yeah. I think they actually changed it to Instagram by Meta.
Yeah. Instagram is now testing a new tool to help you manage your social media addiction. So this is only on the Instagram app, and it's only to beta testers right now. So it's not available to everybody in the public. But basically, what you're able to do is when you go into Instagram, if you're one of these lucky ones, you get asked how much time you want to spend on the app for each session. And basically, you can have it set for like anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes. And once you've used that amount of time scrolling through pictures, videos, whatever, you'll get a nice, polite warning advising you to take a break. So it helps you kind of just maybe turn it off, put the phone down, go outside, talk to your family, whatever it may be.
Just see the outside world again.
Yeah. And whether or not people will use it's one thing, but it's nice that Instagram's thinking about this, or Meta, and they're saying, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it does.
I'm kind of interested in some piece of information that they didn't include. So it says 10 to 30 minutes, or you can set a time for each browsing session, but it's like what institutes like the downtime, like when it starts back up, like could you just put it down for like a minute and then you're like back to, or is it like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but like break? Or I mean that's kind of one of the interesting things that was left out, I feel like.
Or maybe they'll have an ignore button. You get ignored a warning.
I don't care. Let me die scrolling on my phone, please.
And I don't think I have an addiction necessarily. Like Facebook, I'm usually on there maybe during the day, like in between work, not for very long.
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm not even on now. I can go down a hole in TikTok. And when I first got TikTok and I was into it, I'd spend 30, 40 minutes and be like, oh man. But even now, I don't even I don't watch it as much near as what I used to. And you know what? I need to go and look at the time usage on the app, because I mean your phone should keep details on that. And so I was quite shocked when my middle daughter told me how much time she spent on TikTok at one point.
I'll be honest. Like one particular, I don't think there's like one particular app. Maybe Reddit for me, because Reddit is like a hole where there's so many different things you can kind of deep dive into. But I feel like I don't know if I would say I'm addicted, but I would say sometimes I just get lost in my phone and I just like look up and it's like 30 minutes later. It's like, holy crap, like what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time scrolling on a phone? And I mean, I catch myself doing that, especially when I have like my kids around, and it's like, what kind of example am I setting for my kids? Do they think I'm neglecting them? There's so many different things that go through my head, and it's hard to not do that sometimes, though.
Sure. It's like a break. It's almost like a mind break, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's like sometimes the mind break turns into too much.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to stop yourself once you get started. It's a weird, real quick, like addiction, I think. even if it's not something that I'm like I'm always on my phone sort of deal. Because I try to be mindful of not being on my phone all the time, but
Right.
it's like once it sucks me in, sometimes I'm like, it's like my head is like completely in and I can't get it out situation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which
And I go
I
through
hate it
like,
too.
and I'll go through like when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling a little bit more depressed. My phone usage time goes up,
Hmm.
and I found that out because then that's the wife. What are you doing on your phone? It's like, oh, and then as I start thinking about my usage and I look back, it's like, oh, these were times where I was down, so I wasn't maybe enjoying life or enjoying the moment as
Yeah.
much as I should have been because of my emotional state. So
Yeah, that makes
there's all
sense.
kinds of stuff.
All the different things that can play into why you would want to just kind of get sucked into your phone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's I picked this one out. I liked it. I just thought, it's a reminder that hey, we have a life. It's not all on Instagram, Facebook, or social media, Twitter, whatever it's going to be for you. But put the
Yeah.
phone down and like we set rules. Like when dinner time, whether it's at home or we go out to dinner, everybody phones away.
Yeah.
No, but I need it. Nope, nope.
You really have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we
It's
go.
important. All right. This one I was shocked. I guess not entirely shocked, but I was delighted by. We'll say that.
Yeah.
So Google is taking signups for what they're calling Relate, which is a voice assistant that recognizes impaired speech. I feel like I'm having impaired speech tonight. Um, so Google launched a beta app the other day that people with speech impairments can use as a voice assistant while contributing to a multi-year research effort to improve Google's speech recognition. The goal is to make Google Assistant more inclusive of users with neurological conditions that affect their speech. Some of those neurological conditions are things such as ALS,
Mhm.
traumatic brain injury, or Parkinson's disease. So they've been working on what they call Project Euphonia, is how I'm gonna pronounce it, just to improve their overall AI algorithms, collecting data from people with impaired speech. So they've been doing that test since 2019, and I think that they're going to keep doing that separately. But this, I think, allows them to get a lot larger data set, so a
Mhm.
lot more people can get involved and actually contribute to this. So you have to be 18 years or older and have difficulty being understood by others. It only is only for English speakers at this time in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, which is pretty standard for this kind of stuff because you want to make sure that the people who are testing this are probably mostly English speakers.
Right.
And I think there's so much more data on English for this kind of thing that it's a lot easier to figure out where the problems are going to show up. And then once they kind of figure out where those problems are, then they can kind of start expanding to other languages. But a volunteer who signs up for this will be tasked with recording 500 phrases, which should take between 30 to 90 minutes to record. That's pretty crazy. So I bet it's a lot of the same phrases that they use for when they record Google Assistant voices.
Right.
So I actually watched a video one time of the woman who records her voice for the Google Assistant.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so they have very specific phrases that they have her say because they
Yeah.
need certain pieces of language.
Mhm.
And there's like all these different pieces of language that we have, and I couldn't remember what they are specifically. And it's like sounds in our language that they're
Mhm.
trying to pull out from. So if they can match, hey, this phrase sounds exactly like this for this person, we know, hey, this is what it's going to be when they say this kind of sound. So my guess is they're probably taking that same methodology and using it for this,
Right.
which is pretty interesting to kind of just essentially build on what they have already been doing. So after you've shared your voice samples, volunteers will get access to 3 new features on the Relate app. It will be able to transcribe their speech in real time, so like their regular like translation features. It'll also have a repeat feature that will restate what the user said in a clear, synthesized voice, making it easier for you to be heard and understood. And then they also connect to Google Assistant to help users turn on the lights or play a song with their voice. So it'll essentially tie back into the regular Google Assistant so they can do all those things as well. That's a pretty interesting thing. And the more we can help people with disabilities communicate with everybody else, I think the better off everybody will be in society.
Yes. Because I think we take a lot of this for granted.
Oh, totally.
Right, our Google Assistant, and we just talk and whatever, to do whatever we want, and we laugh and have fun or whatever. But yeah, to make this more inclusive, especially like, I don't know, I've had some dealings with ALS, and I used to do some work for the ALS here in town, and just getting to know some of these people, and like, that's a crazy disease, or and it's like their brain is there,
Yeah.
but all their motor functions aren't. And so people look at them like, oh, you're just a sad person. You're not even like, but their mind is sharp, and things are going on. It's just, again, it's that communication, whether it's body language or speech or whatever. And I mean, anything we can do to just make that better, I think is amazing.
Yeah, and I know my grandpa had Parkinson's disease late in his life, and he definitely got a lot more difficult to understand the last few years of his life. So I think if we can make it a lot easier for those people to communicate, it's going to make, like I said, it's going to make everybody's lives a lot better.
Yeah,
and definitely their lives a lot better. So the big quote from, I guess, the project manager of this is someone who is affected by muscular dystrophy. They said Project Relate can make the difference between a look of confusion and a friendly laugh of recognition.
Love it.
So, maybe they want to tell a joke and it's like impossible for them to get the timing right because of, the way they talk or can't communicate correctly. But it's like, oh yeah, no, they're, like you said, they're still in there. They still want to joke around. They still want to be themselves, but because of their bodies, they're just not able to be that same kind of person. So, I mean, if they can make this happen, all the power to them.
Yep. 100%. Love it. Man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah. That's all we have, Jeremiah.
That's it. So I'm pumped about this challenge.
Yeah.
Competition makes for good stuff.
It's the best quote of the night. Competition makes good stuff.
I am going to get in the zone on my Fitbit and just make you wish you were doing what I was doing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go back to doing jumping jacks during the day. Like I used to, like a couple months ago, I would get up, every hour or something, do like 100 jumping jacks or whatever.
Wow. An hour?
Yeah. I might go back to doing that.
Wow. Man, I might be ashamed. I don't know.
I mean, it's a great way to get your heart back going and wake you up for sure.
So I set a goal for so many minutes in my zone. And so it's going to help me measure that each day on my Fitbit.
Perfect.
So we'll see. We'll compare steps and other things, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It is. It's funny too. Like it shows you how many calories you burn and all this other stuff. So I mean, yeah, that's gonna be good stuff.
So much stuff. I think next week we'll probably start talking about gifts.
We should, because people should buy them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
If you're gonna buy them, now will be the time. So we'll give some gift recommendations next week, and hopefully some fun news to talk about as well.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Look us up, Facebook, YouTube, leave a comment, like us, share us wherever you listen to podcasts. Let people know that you are a fan of GON, Geeking Out Ninjas,
Yeah.
and that you want to share the love and the smarts.
We want more ninjas.
There we go. That's better.
So that's what I'm calling the fans, the ninjas.
The ninjas. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
What was it when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What was it? The Claw, and what was his people? What were the bad? The
I
Foot.
don't remember.
They were called the Foot. That's what it was.
Oh, the Foot. That's right.
That's what we should call our fans, or the Foot. No, that's cheesy. Anyways, we'll stick with ninjas. All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Ta-ta.